Hi, I am Susan C., and I am here to do a talk with you about raising and releasing our children. You see, earlier, just a few weeks ago, actually, I hosted an event here in my home with several moms who gathered who are in that season of their children having their last years of high school or experiencing their first few years of college or trade school or just starting their first jobs and careers. And it's an interesting place to be in as a mom. You're in this place of watching them step into their first steps and also remembering so keenly that they were little such a short time ago. And you kind of wonder, where did that time go? I got to tell you, one of the passions of my heart is being able to speak to moms and encourage them and teach them and give them skills so that when their children get to this stage, they're a mom with no regrets. They don't look back and go, man, I wish I would have spent more time. I wish I would have listened more. They look back and they go, I did the best that I could, and I believe that they're ready. Won't that just be a relief to be in that space? But if you're in the same season as I am, where you keenly remember your children as little bitty babies, as toddlers, as little ones happy and content to play in the dirt, and now it's time for them to step out and they're packing up bags to go off to college and they're stepping into their next phase of life. I'm right there with you, Mama. I wish we could all sit and just have a good hug and let each other know and remind one another it's going to be all right. It's kind of tough right now. We're going through a transition. So I wanted to create this video because I wanted to just share a few things about what I'm going through because I'm in this season. I'm living it. I'm walking this journey. I'm sharing my life with you. Because see, I keenly remember when my new adult was this age. This is my oldest son, Malik, and he's my only son, so I get to call him my favorite son. He was a little bitty here. He's 6 foot plus now, and he's stepping into his next phase of life. He has moved out. He lives in his own space now. He's going off to university in the fall because that was the right next step for him. And we're excited to support him in that. It means a lot of changes and shifts in our household. And at the same time, it's the right thing. And I'm excited to see what God has for him. So I love to talk about being intentional in every phase, in every moment we can with our children. And this one is no different. So I want to share with you some of the ways that we're being intentional, some of the thoughts that are on my mind and on my husband Ron's mind, things we're talking about as a family, because perhaps it could be something that would suit you or support you and your family. So I've kind of got some notes down here. So if you see me look down, it's just because I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I share the things that were on my heart. So right now, just to give you an update on where we are, my son is about to turn 20. He has chosen to do community college classes for his first full year post high school. So he's amassed quite a few credits and he'll go in at almost a junior in college when he goes to university. It was his goal, it's been our goal for him to have his college experience be as inexpensive or debt-free as possible. So this extra year has given him the time to buy credits cheap while also applying for tons of scholarships and looking for opportunities for other sources of funding for his schooling, so it doesn't look like him having to go into debt, and it certainly doesn't look like his parents having to pay for a whole lot of those expenses. Come on, somebody, are you with me? So he goes into the fall this year. He'll be going in at almost a junior, and he'll be wrapping up his schooling really quickly because he's invested so much time. Behind him, we have another daughter graduating. She'll be graduating from school this year. And then we just really start a whole vacuum effect. It just seems like every 2 years to every year after that, we've got someone graduating. So pray for us. We appreciate it. All right. So that's just giving you an update. We've got 20, 18, 16, 13, 10, 8, and 6. Those are our kids' ages currently. So one of the first things that we considered with our son as we were preparing him for this phase is, what is the next best step for him? Notice I didn't say what did we think is the next best step, or even what did he think solely, but what were our thoughts knowing his gifts, talents, and weaknesses as his parents? What does he seem to be thinking is best for him in light of what he knows that he's interested in, but also what are his gifts and talents as he sees them, as well as his weaknesses? And just what is he noticing in the world as a need that he has a desire to be a part of the solution? That is one of the conversations we have with our children from pretty little. We talk to them about all of us in this world are either producers or consumers. We're doing both at the same time. But after you've consumed, whether that's information, time, attention, skill building, whatever that is, you've been consuming, at some point it's part to be a producer. That means you're part of the answer, the solution. You're part of the hands on the ground, the feet on the ground, the hands in the work. And so what is it that you think, as you're thinking about your future son, what is it that you want to be a producer in? What do you want to be part of the solution for in this world? What issues catch your attention? And for him, that's been in the medical field. He's really noticed that he's interested in athletes and them recovering from injury and being able to do that well and with good care. So that really suits his personality. It suits his temperament, and it suits what he sees as prospective opportunities in his future, for the lifestyle he wants to live, for the kind of people he wants to spend time with, for the kinds of information he enjoys consuming. All of those really came together in a beautiful way for him, and he's had opportunities to be involved in internships over the past 3 summers now with an orthopedic surgeon. So he's been in surgeries 3 and 4 times a week throughout the entire summer. He's met many medical professionals. He's had time to sit down and talk with them to find out what their jobs are like, what their work is like, what their lifestyle is like, for him to determine whether that is in line with what he sees God has for him. So his next best step, if he wants to go in the medical field, is indeed college. That is going to be part of what he needs to step into in order to be a part of that career field. But not all of our children will college be a part of their next best step. We were open to that. So first we wanted to find out, what is God's plan for you, so that we can put you in position to be successful wherever he has you. This is one thing I love about God's economy, is he doesn't waste any experience. So all along the way, when my son was deeply interested in sharks when he was little, and checking out every book about sharks, and interested in sharks and collecting shark teeth, and he had all of these things going on, we just knew certainly he's going into something marine science, or he even got his scuba diving certification. And we live in Austin. Yes, there's nowhere near a beach. We do have a lake, but there's no beach. But he got his scuba diver certification. We saw all of that leading to, hey, he's going into marine science. No, he's going into medical. But look at how his desire to pursue his interests and passions, when it came time for him to start to think about his future and his life, he had spent enough time in that to know that that was not a career he wanted, but he's still interested in that as a hobby. So see, in God's economy, our children's experiences and interests from the past don't necessarily get wasted. He doesn't waste a thing of those. He'll use those to enrich their lives if we will allow them. If we as parents speak of their past interests as a waste, if I would have said, well, what a waste. You got a scuba diver certification and now you don't use it, and you're going in the medical field, and we live in Central Texas and there's no beaches around. I never said that. If he's interested in scuba, I said, fantastic, son. I think that's the coolest thing. Why don't you learn more about that? Oh, look, there's a scuba school here in Austin. Why don't you pursue that? That's interesting. You want to get your certification. How much does that cost? Fantastic. And how do you propose to pay for that? You see, I just kept talking to him about it. I didn't shame his idea. I didn't shame his interest because I couldn't see where it would lead. I didn't see how you would scuba dive if you live in Central Texas and you're surrounded by rock. I mean, come on. But God knew. And God didn't ask me to solve all of his issues and to come up with solutions for the challenges he faces in life. He asked me to love him and support him and encourage him in trusting God in deeper ways to be able to move forward in that. Take that in, mamas. God didn't ask us to solve all of our children's problems and to come up with solutions for the challenges they may face. Our job is to love them. Our job is to encourage them, and our job is to keep pointing them towards God, who does have all the answers. So if you have a child that has some interest and you go, I don't even get where this will be connected, it's okay if you don't get it. Keep encouraging them that that gift is in them, that interest, that curiosity is within them. Now, what does God desire to bring forth because of that and through that? So now my child is very keen. He knows a whole lot about marine science. He knows a whole lot about scuba diving. He knows a whole lot about the best places to go dive in the world. And he wants to have a career that supports him to go visit those on vacation. But he did not want to do that full time. So you want to know, what is the next best step for your child? Is it college? It may not be, and that is okay. But what is their next best step? The next part, what is the role that you play in that next step for them? You see, my son's going off to university. What's the role that I play in that? Well, I helped him to have conversations about what schools he wanted to go to. I helped him to think about how he wanted to pay for his college experience. I helped him to really be on top of the dates that were coming up for him. That looked like verbal reminders, and occasionally I might send him a text to go, hey, are you on top of things with your calendar? But I do not hold his hand. When mail comes from that university, I stack his mail up for him to get it so that he can read the dates, the important dates and times and deadlines that he needs to meet. I encourage him, but I do not hold his hand. I do not keep nagging him to get things done. I look for him to take ownership over his future. And that looks like me pulling back and allowing him to really show up in his own life and for his future. He needs it. Especially raising a young man, don't we want men who take responsibility, who show initiative, who stand up and get things done, and they don't need to be reminded and cajoled, maybe even threatened in order to get things done. We want them to show up in life, and I want that for him. So my role looks like loving reminders every once in a while, an encouraging word, the end. But it doesn't look like me setting up his calendar and putting dates on it and putting in reminders and doing those things for him. I have equipped him with tools to help him to succeed in life, and I'm looking forward to him grabbing those and using them for good. What else does my role look like currently? My role looks like an encourager, a listening ear, a support. There are times when I still want to walk in his room and go, hello, can you clean this place? Okay, never mind your place. Hi, I just need a place to sit down, please, and a clean cup to drink out of. Thanks. And I have to remind myself, he doesn't need mom to come in and be mom right now. He's trying to step into his own. He's trying to be his own person right now. And what he needs from me is support. What he needs to know from me is that I trust that he has everything he needs in order to succeed.